my mind, and I now want it to be in your mind, the types of activities that as a business owner, you not only need to do every day, have it as a practice, it is to master. So it takes a long time for people to get to know you. So as you're out there beating the grass, doing what you need to do to get known, the message of the slide is don't stop. The minute you stop, what starts to erode is the trust that you're building. And the minute you stop with the eroding trust, what starts to happen is sales start to dwindle. So most businesses fail because they stop doing these activities. And in the next slide, Giovanni is going to take you through each of the stages. These stages comprise interdependent activities that fuel the results you get at each of the stages. And if you look at it at this very high level, the lesson to take away from this slide is running a business is not for the faint of heart. And you don't have a faint heart. I know that. Running a business takes time, it takes attention, it takes caring, and most of all, it takes developing the mastery at running these stages of your business. The customer life cycle. Giovanni, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Saurel. So we have the cycle as Saurel was pointing to. We have the sales life cycle, right? Where it's like people need to get to know you, right? They need to get to know you first, and then you have to build credibility with them. And then once they know you and you build credibility, then you can make a sale, right? And that's a moving target. Sometimes it takes a long time to get to know you. Sometimes it takes a long time to create credibility, and then sometimes it takes something to make a sale. But sometimes it doesn't take time at all, depending on like maybe you borrow somebody else's credibility and get to know you. That's when a referral comes in. So let's look at this slide real quick here, right? The customer life cycle. Now, when you look at this slide and you get really present to this slide, this slide tells you the story of your business, right? So if you have a way of taking a picture to that slide, you want to do that because you want to dive into all of these leverages, all of these moving parts, which really create your business, right? So here's we have 3 stages. When you look at your business, right? When you look at the opportunity of selling to someone and making money, see it from 3 stages. There is the stage to attract people, right, to what you do, your product or your service. There's the stage. And then there is a stage of creating the opportunity of a sale. And then there is the stage to wow them, to deliver your product, to deliver your service. There's those 3 stages. Now, from those 3 stages, we're going to go over 9 steps that you want to focus on, that you want to bring attention to, and create mastery around it. Like Saurel was saying, there's an art, but there's also a science to all of those 9 steps. Now, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but it's necessary to do. On the first stage, which is attracting, right? There's this whole aspect of making sure that you're attracting the people that actually want to do business with you now, right? There's a whole world called targeting the right people, the people who are ready to do business with you. Many times when we run a campaign, when we do some kind of a broadcast a message, if you will, a marketing campaign, or where we're trying to broadcast a messaging, many times we just kind of send it out there. And we kind of hope that the right people hear it. And there's also the way to look at it where you are going to go straight to the people that will like to hear it. That's called targeting who you need to talk to, right? And there's a whole world around that. It's not like a 5-minute conversation. It is a diving in and really looking at, well, who wants to do business with me now? There is 3% of the population, as we say, that is ready to do business right now. When Saurel and I leading in an open room, and we have 100 people or 500 people, however many people we have, we get to ask people this question: how many of you are ready right now and you're actively looking to buy a house? And usually between 2 and 3% of the people are going to raise their hand, because 3% of the economy is ready to move some kind of product or some kind of service right now. So whatever you sell right now, there's 3%, 2 to 3% of the economy who's looking for what you do. But you got to target them. You got to go where they already are. You got to understand in some degree, their demographics, their age, etc. Now, you have competition, right? So you got to attract their interest. That's a whole world in itself, right? How do you attract the interest of the people who are already looking to do business with your service or with your product? How do you attract them? There's a whole science around that. How do you craft a headline, for example? You know, the headline that we're using today is, how do you create a system to generate endless leads and lifelong customers for your business? Now, who's that headline for? For business owners, right? If you're not a business owner, that's not really going to attract you, right? If you're not in the business of creating customers, that's really not going to attract you. Well, guess what? It is designed that way that it attracts the person who that headline makes a difference, not to everybody, right? Does that make sense? So there's a whole science on how to attract the customers who already are in the business of doing business with what you do. Now, when you do that, you want to develop a relationship with them, not just like broadcast a message, and then if they hear it, they're like, oh, I heard something somewhere, right? Through social media, right? One of the things that we read and we hear and we test overly is that for people to begin to create some relationship with you, they have to see you at least 18 times. They have to see your ad, your face, whatever it is, at least 18 times before their brain goes into, do I even want to know what they do? Imagine that. So it takes a while. So you want to become masterful, if you will, at learning how to attract the brain of that person, how to attract that, and then begin a relationship with them. How do you begin a relationship with them? You either offer them something that they want, right? A solution that they're looking for, and then you collect their email maybe. Or you constantly keep educating them on what? Educating them on what? On anything? No. On the things that you do that you know that it makes a difference to them, right? Like if somebody would say, well, tell me what are the 5 solutions that you bring to your customers? You know, what are the 5 things that you're constantly doing? And you're like, well, the 5 things are, well, I go do this and I go do that, right? And then I go do this and then I go do that. Okay, well, create maybe 20 things that dropped all that down, break that apart, and every day or every other day, put a short video, 3-minute video, 2-minute video on social media to specifically talk about that which you know your customer would love to know, right? And then now you start educating them, but then now it's about information that they want to hear, right? And then that begins to develop a relationship through education. The best relationship you can develop with your prospect is through education, not through sales. If you start selling them things, they'd be like, you're somebody else who's trying to get my money. But if you start educating them constantly, right? Then they're like, oh, I really like this guy. I really like this girl. Yeah, let me develop a relationship. And as you're developing relationship, then you create an offer. You got to offer them something, right? You never know when they're ready to buy, but they might be ready right now, right? So as you educate, you create the offer. When you create the offer, you close them. Now you got an opportunity now to wow them. Remember, 85% of people's decision-making is through emotions. You don't like it, you shouldn't be in business. It's through emotions. So you got to wow them. Right? You got to have a real good process of making sure that you meet their expectations and you over deliver them. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to give you referrals, but it means they'll come back to you, right? So you wow them, but you already have a relationship. Are you not going to talk to them? No, you got to talk to them. Every 6 months, you send them an email. With what? Another sale? No, with education. Develop a relationship through education, right? Through the providing solutions to what they're looking for. Educate them, right? If you are a painter, for example, and you came to paint my house, are you going to send me information about painting my house 6 months from now? No, don't, because I'm not ready to pay. But if you say how to fix your walls without going to Home Depot, 2-minute video, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. I needed to do that. I need to fix a wall. And now I don't have to hire a painter, right? It's education. It provides value. And now you're on top of my mind. Now, this is true for all businesses, right? So these are the 3 stages with the 9 steps to make sure you begin to have a system that generate endless leads and lifelong customers to your business. Now, I know I went really fast. We went really fast, and this requires going in depth and understanding the psychology, the science, right? And the methods behind every single of the steps. But if you took a picture of this slide, then you are in the right track, and Saurel and I are here to serve you. So we're going to answer some of your questions, and obviously you know that this very slide, we're going to take a deep cut in our leadership course. So does anyone has any questions, anything else you want to add, Saurel?
This is the school, right? It's like, I'm so excited about the slides, so excited about this conversation. You can expect that this is going to happen, right? This is the introduction to this world. And then Giovanni and I are going to work with you and for you to create 12 or more separate conversations to each of the stages and each of the steps of the stages. 2 things to note. You notice that the stages have gears in them, right? This is to signify that one activity drives the other and the other. And you may notice that one of the gears is actually bigger than the others. And that signifies this: as you grow in mastery and you keep doing that same activity, like targeting your clients and attracting them, educating them in the sales stage, and delivering and wowing them in the operation stage, it gets to the point where the big gear, the stuff you do every day and you do so well, gets so well oiled that getting leads, that getting sales, that getting referrals starts to become easy, or at least it appears easy to you and to people from the outside looking in. Why? Because you've mastered the key aspect of the stage. That's the driver. So yeah, this slide, world, and Giovanni and I cannot wait to introduce you to that world, dip you in it, swirl you in it, and spit you out as masters of the universe. Questions, comments, your mind spinning, go ahead.
Well, I have something, kind of a common question. Thank you both for this. This is a great introduction and is, of course, making my brain start working. So my question is related to value. So one of the things that I've been learning as an entrepreneur is that in order for your potential clients to at least see you or start being interested in what you can offer, there's a lot of thinking about what you can offer them value. And sometimes we think value is free or value is, so what are your thoughts about the definition of value and what we can offer to our clients in all those steps as value to them?
Yeah,
that is an awesome question, Andrea.
Yeah. I'll take it on, Saurel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take it on. So this is a critical question, like a very important question to look at. When we're providing value, whether it's free, right, or depending on your business, right, it's critical that I know what the pains of my customers are. It's very critical, so that when I know the pain of my customers, then whatever I provide, whether it's a free report, a free something, it's at the heart of what they need. So they feel this thing, this relationship with you, like, oh my gosh, you're giving me something that I thought I had to pay thousands of dollars. And that begins to develop this really intimate relationship with your product and your services. And that's what I wanted to add in terms of value. And in that process of educating customers, educating our prospects, it's all value oriented. What are you going to provide education on? On what makes a difference to that customer. What they're looking for, what is that already solving their problems. And that begins to develop that relationship of education and value. Not any kind of education, no, the kind of education that you provide to your clients or customers. Yeah. Go ahead, Saurel.
And right on point. Value, there's a big difference. Free has become synonymous to value in this day and age. Being anything free isn't valuable. So don't go there. What's really valuable is actually targeting a customer in such a way that even in attracting interest, you're uncovering with them a need they didn't know they have. That's value. So even there, you're providing value. In educating in the sales phase, you're actually making your client a better business owner through the education you're providing. That's value. And in delivering, when you wow them, and again, I'll make the distinction here. Wow is not equated to gold plating and giving more than they deserve or they've paid for. Wow, in this context, is I am so intimately connected to the way your business works, the way your business runs, who you are, that what I deliver did not only solve your problem, but it made you look good to your clients. That's value. So there's value to be delivered across each of the stages, and it's never free. When it's really valuable, guess what? Your clients will pay you twice for it. They'll pay you even 3 times. Great question, Andrea. And Peter Augustus had a question, Gio. It's, what are some examples of wow point to that cut across industry sectors? Gio, you're on mute.
Yeah, Saurel, I lost signal there. Say the question again.
What are some examples of wow in the delivery stage that you could point to that sectors?
In the delivery stage that you can point to what?
Wow, examples of wow that cut across. You know, it doesn't matter which industry or which business you're in.
Yeah.
What does wow look like?
Yeah, there is a general question, right? There's the general answer, like what cuts across the industry, and but I don't like to give the general one because that's a bumper sticker answer, and it doesn't leave you actually thinking. How to wow your customer is that you got to go see for yourself when you get back that call that you were not expecting that says, thank you for doing this. Or when you get that testimonial that says, hey, you did this and I want to thank you for that, right? When you know in that process of that sales process or in that operation, you know when there is an expectation to meet, and then there is a way to over deliver that expectation, right? And in looking at that is when you'll know your wow, right? You're like, oh, this is how I can wow my customer. And that answer is specific to your industry, it's specific to your business, right? And that makes you unique. And when you get into that world of being unique to your customer, like, oh, they care about me, you personalize their relationship with me, right? Even though you're doing it to everybody, but they feel personalized, then you begin to wow them, right? I was afraid that if I give a general answer, like over deliver expectation, it would just be a bumper sticker and it won't make a difference.
So there is a definition to the word wow. To wow me is to have taken the time to know me, to have taken the time to understand my needs and what pains me, both personally and professionally, and then to address that in such a way that it is complete. Then I am wow. And as Gio pointed to, it is a personal thing. Each and every client, whether you're in business to business or business to consumer, each and every client is unique in that way. Rose, good morning.
Good morning. I don't know if you can you see me?
Now I can see you.
Kind of, sort of, sorry. I actually had you on TV this morning, so I could
Oh, that's cool.
see you
We're
across
live
the room,
in
so
living color.
make sure you could see or hear me. Okay, so thank you for this. I love the conversation, and one of the things that I've talked about a couple of times over the conversations that we've been having the last couple of weeks is that I really haven't been attending to my business to produce the results that I say I want. So, I've got to true some things up here. But one of the things that I heard this morning was in the targeting. So, I've talked about my business a little bit, which is really process oriented, not content oriented, right? So, giving businesses the opportunity to see themselves newly, right? Or fully, or from a different point of view, or from the point of view of possibility of what could potentially be the cause of issues or problems. It could be a utility business. It could be a doctor's office. So I think I have a targeting issue, which is part of the reason why it's been difficult for me to develop message. And then because I don't have an effective message, there's a little bit of a self-confidence concern about, how do I get my message out there, right? If I don't know who I'm talking to. So I kind of see, I have a few little issues in a nice little bow there, and I haven't untied it. But I think this morning I'm starting to see some of the strands. So Giovanni, what are you hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely feel related. And that's how it started for me. Like I knew that in the opportunity that my business is for other businesses, the processes, the engagement, it was gold for other businesses, right? I know that Rose is gold for other businesses. Like if business owners knew that they could work with Rose, their businesses, the culture, the processes, everything will transform, right?
Yeah.
And you cannot go on the street saying, I'm a consultant. Are you looking for a consultant? Anybody looking for a consultant? I'm a consultant. I'm 50% off as a consultant today, because nobody's looking for a consultant, right? Nobody's looking for, what are people really looking for? They're looking for to solve a problem that they have. And there is a way that their brain languages that problem. Meaning, for example, a process is, depending on where your area of strength is, those problems. What are those problems? Like for me, for example, is that people have toxic cultures and they don't know how to shift the culture. So a headline will go, could you be losing money by people tolerating each other? So that HR person or that accountable person or that CEO, right, will say, yes, I'm losing money. Could you be losing key employees by having people tolerating each other, right? And then that CEO think, of course I'm losing key employees because the culture is sucks, right? They wouldn't say it that way, but now they're interested. That's that attracting. Now, just because I caught their attention, just because you caught their attention doesn't mean they're going to do business. Now you got to develop some way to keep developing value, keep developing relationship so that you become a credible source, right? So that's one way of looking at this in a very short answer. And we want to invite you to allow yourself to be with us on our 3-day leadership retreat, where we will take on a deep dive on how to do this whole thing about targeting. Saurel, anything you want to add?
Yes, Rose and everybody, I'm going to give you an example in the world of accounting. If somebody says I'm an accountant, all of a sudden you can say, oh my God, everybody's their target. Because everybody needs accounting, right? Everybody needs a bookkeeper. Well, this one accountant decided to target a niche. And that niche is businesses who have more than 5 years or 3 years of back taxes. In other words, they're in trouble. As Gio was pointing to, they have a need, and it's an acute need. But guess what? That could be in any industry, but the target sometimes isn't defined by the type of the business. It's more so defined by the acute need and the acute pain there's to be alleviated in that space. So when you go into a business and you say, when was the last time you filed your, 3 years ago, you know they're in trouble. With that kind of target, the message gets really refined. The what to do to educate them gets really pointed. And the what to do to wow them is almost obvious, right? And it was a function of the targeting that happened at the beginning, which focused on the acute pain to be solved. So looking for that kind of acute or latent pain to be addressed is the beginning of targeting.
Oh, that's so perfect. It's like not even necessarily the who, but
Exactly.
the I got it. Oh, that is brilliant. Great. Thank you for that.
Perfect.
That was
Awesome.
great, Saurel. Thank you. Giovanni, thank you. That was great just now. Just target target a specific part of your audience. That's great. I love it.
And that's the key, right? So Saurel, let's wrap this up. You want to put the last slide?
Oh man, I could talk about this until the cows come home. Do we have to go?
An invitation to continue the conversation.
Do that. Well, Gio, you're gonna have to give me the permission to share.
Yes.
And I do have the permission to share, right? Awesome, awesome.
So there is an opportunity to continue the conversation, and we really want you to really consider being with us at the end of the month. It's 3 days where you invest in your time and you invest in yourself, where we're going to be transforming 3 things that are key to grow a business, right? Key to grow your life, right? We make emphasis on business in a certain way, in many ways, because we want you to make money. We want you to have a lot of money. I have had, in my life, I've had the opportunity to have peace of mind and have a great relationship with myself and others. And then I've been able to add some money to those vacations, and it's a whole different world, right? So it's not like you need money to be happy, but it makes a difference if you're allowing yourself to ask for the appetizer, if you're allowing yourself to get the dessert, right? And all of those things that we want you to have in your life. That's why there is an emphasis on businesses for us. So on this 3-day leadership course, we're going to be tackling 3 things, right? One is your relationship with yourself. There is no transformation in your business until there's a transformation with the self. There's no point in you growing your business, if you can, when you're not happy to where you're at, when there's not an authentic relationship with yourself, right? And then there's this aspect to emotional intelligence, emotional fitness. Life is always happening. Today is COVID, tomorrow is bankruptcy, then it's divorce, then it's just life is happening all the time, right? So it's important to have emotional fitness so that you can reinvent yourself regardless of what's happening. And that's critical to being able to be successful in business and in life, emotional fitness. So we're going to take that on. Then how to influence others. By yourself, you could go far in some way or fast. But with a team, you can go really, really far, right? When you saw those three stages as your team, as your business grows, they all need a team. You don't want to do them all. You have a team for attracting, a team for delivering, a team for selling, a team for operations. It's about team, right? So how do we influence others? It's a big conversation for us. And finally, the whole day on Sunday, the last day, is going to be on these three stages. So we highly invite you to consider being with us. It's going to be a virtual, first time we do it virtual, and we are excited to have the opportunity to be with you. The price is unbelievable for the kind of content that we're going to be delivering. So that's my strong invitation. Thank you for taking your time to be with us. And anything else you want to add, Saurel?
I cannot wait to talk about this until the cows come home, and we promise you, you're going to get value. I love you guys.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Right.
Welcome.
Right.
Thanks, everyone.
Go have an awesome day. Go grow your businesses. Go get referrals. Go close businesses. Go get leads. Have fun.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you, Saurel. CC. Bye.
Bye, CC.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'm going to go have some milk since the cows have come home and some coffee.
See you later, Bruce.